All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about a fascinating idea, one that's been around for thousands of years. It's this concept of an invisible inner energy system, kind of like a blueprint that guides our physical, emotional, and even our spiritual well-being.
You've probably felt it, right? That little spark of life, that inner force. You just know it's there. But what if there were actual maps, ancient maps, that could help us understand it? And what if there were modern tools to help us work with it for some pretty profound healing? Okay, let's dive in. For like thousands of years, different traditions, from yoga to Chinese medicine, have been describing this inner world with a surprisingly practical map. And think of it less as some abstract philosophy and more like a hands-on user manual for the very energy that makes you, you.
Now, the most famous part of this map is definitely the chakra system. The best way to picture them is as these little spinning vortexes of energy inside you. Their whole job is to act as gateways, letting life force, what some call prana or chi, flow through us. When they're open and balanced, we feel great, aligned, energized, just vibrant.
And this system gets incredibly specific. So, take the heart chakra, anahata. It's seen as the bridge between our physical bodies and our spiritual selves. When it's balanced, we feel things like unconditional love, deep compassion, real connection. But if it gets blocked, well, that can show up as loneliness, grief, and can even link to physical issues with the heart.
Or think about the throat chakra, Vishuddha. This is our center for authentic truth. When it's balanced, you speak your mind with confidence, with creativity. But when it's blocked, that fear of speaking up can actually manifest as a literal sore throat or chronic neck pain. It really makes you think, doesn't it? So, this table gives us a great little tour of the whole system. It all starts down at the base of the spine with the root chakra, which is all about feeling safe and grounded. From there, the energy flows up through centers for creativity, personal power, and love, all the way to the crown chakra, right at the top of your head. That's our connection to consciousness itself. Each one governs a totally different part of our lives.
But okay, the chakras are kind of like the big cities on our energy map. So you have to have roads connecting them, right? Well, that's where these energy superhighways come in. In traditional Chinese medicine, they're called meridians, and they link up to our organs. In yogic traditions, they're known as nadis, and the main central channel, the sushumna, is seen as the key pathway for spiritual awakening.
So, if we have this incredible inner map, how do we actually work with it? This brings us to the really practical part, the art and science of balancing our own energy using a whole toolkit of powerful techniques.
So where do you even start? Well, the absolute foundation of this whole toolkit is mindfulness and meditation. And hey, it's not about trying to empty your mind. That's a huge misconception. It's just the simple practice of being fully present. Honestly, it's one of the most powerful ways to clear out blockages and get your energy realigned.
And there are so many ways to do this. You can just become a witness, watching your thoughts float by without getting tangled up in them. You can do a body scan, just noticing sensations. You can even bring that total focus to something simple, like washing the dishes. There's even a practice called loving kindness, which is designed specifically to help you cultivate compassion for yourself and others.
Next up in our toolkit is your own breath. It's pretty incredible, but just by changing your breathing pattern, you can directly change your nervous system. Deep, slow belly breathing, that flips on your rest and digest response, bringing this amazing calm. But on the flip side, you have these rapid breathing techniques that can be super energizing and help release a lot of pent-up emotion.
Okay, from breath, we move to vibration. The whole idea behind sound healing is pretty simple. The right frequency can bring your body's energy back into harmony. I mean, since our bodies are mostly water, you can literally think of it like creating these healing ripples inside of you. Whether it's from singing bowls, tuning forks, or even just the power of your own voice.
So, how does all of this come together? Well, the ultimate goal here is to create a sense of holistic harmony. It's about recognizing that your mind, your body, and your spirit, they aren't separate things. They're all deeply woven together into one single system.
And this is where the rubber really meets the road. Our inner world directly shapes our physical health. I mean, chronic stress isn't just in your head, right? It can show up as real physical symptoms, from constant headaches and fatigue to a totally tanked immune system.
So real healing, then, often means we have to release those emotional blockages that hold us back. That means looking at past wounds,
practicing forgiveness, which frees up a ton of energetic space, and consciously choosing to rewrite our own story from one of pain to one of empowerment.
This brings us to a really fundamental shift in how we think. We tend to think of health as just not being sick, but this point of view suggests that true health is way more proactive. It's a state of deep alignment where your mind, body, and spirit are all working together totally in sync.
And, this isn't just some abstract spiritual concept. It has very real-world applications. Author and investor Tim Ferriss found that over 80% of the absolute top performers he interviewed, we're talking people at the top of their game in dozens of fields, have a regular mindfulness or meditation practice.
And the research is really starting to back this up. Study after study shows that a regular practice leads to benefits you can actually measure. We're talking stress and anxiety going way down, while things like sleep quality and focus, they go way up. The brain literally starts to rewire itself for well-being.
Of course, there are challenges, and it's fair to ask, where's the hard data on subtle energy? It's tough to quantify that stuff in a lab. But even if we can't fully measure the mechanism, we know for a fact, just look at the placebo effect, that our belief system can create real physical change. The psychological benefits are absolutely real and totally transformative.
As we start to wrap this up, I want to leave you with this beautiful quote from Carl Sagan. It's this incredible reminder that connects our own personal inner world to the huge, vast universe, reminding us that we're all a part of something so much bigger.
And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. If true healing is really about tapping into this universal consciousness that's already inside each of us, how might that deep knowing completely reshape your life, your perception, and your entire experience of what it means to be alive?